It is Thursday, November 6th. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. And we got plenty to talk about with AEW Dynamite. Last night we had the C-Suite reviewing WWE Evolve, in which I did watch one of the matches, SP3. I'll tell you can take a guess which one if you would like, or as we do the review, it'll be obvious which one that I watched. Well, I think you have a TikTok game for us this week,
Yes, I
correct?
do. I
Yeah,
do.
all
I
right.
do.
We'll do a
Yep.
TikTok game. I'm sure we'll talk a little NBA and some other nonsense as we do on these things. I will point out for Louis only, who is always asking about the NWA, I have reached out to NWA National Champion Mike Mondo to join the show. We will lead the league in NWA coverage here on In the Weeds. I've not heard anything just yet. But SP3, how you doing?
I am doing well, Jeremy. I'm glad to be here on another Thursday. It is Thursday. Y'all know what that means. It means we're going to talk about some AEW Dynamite. And while I enjoyed most of the show, they did have one thing that pissed me off, and you can see it in the thumbnail to the show. So we will talk about all of that on this show. Talk about last night's show. We'll be talking about other things, I'm sure. We'll talk about if you've caught up on Atlanta. Did you finish Atlanta season 2?
No. I've
Okay,
been up
fair
late
enough.
watching, the Thunder played
Fair
at
enough. Yeah.
11 on Tuesday and then they played at 10 last night. I watched the end of that Spurs and Lakers
And
game.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Something like it hit me, and like I forget things. Who did the Thunder lose to last night?
Portland.
Oh, the team that I said they're a problem. I said they were a problem, and they have beaten four of the top teams on and four of the top teams in the NBA already this season, and they are 5-2 since their head coach got arrested. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
that's
go. Let's go. Jailblazers is back, baby. We back.
in my defense on not believing too much in Portland. I didn't think Chauncey was going to get arrested for a gambling thing that would bring the entire team together. Had I been able to foresee that, I would have ranked the Blazers a little bit higher because nothing brings a team together like your head coach organizing poker games and betting that you might lose, and they got to be like, you know what? F this dude. We got to play a lot harder and prove that he is wrong. So, my bad on that one, that I didn't see that come up. Portland's good, man. Like, they played well last night. They hit a bunch of tough shots. OKC was on 3 and 4 back to back. Shea was completely gassed. Like, he was leaving so many shots short. I was like, oh, this is a rough Shea performance. It is what it is. A bunch of injuries as well. Guys out is what it is. We weren't going 82-0. We're 0-0 as we will be the entire season. So, but the Lakers and Spurs game, the
That was that
Lakers,
was that was great, but
that
my
was
Los Angeles Lakers tried to give that one away after they came back from down 9 in the fourth quarter, came back and picked up the win. But Jeremy, we can't just talk about this type of stuff. Before we talk about it, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Kobe, it's time to go to church, ladies and gentlemen. You get 2 for the price of 1 back-to-back weeks. I see a lot of the non-believers in the chat, Jeremy. I see them. I see you, Will McLean. I see you. Lakers might actually be good this year. All these people that would come in the chat trying to chastise me and trying to criticize the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh boy, are they feeling kind of weird right now. They're like, I don't know what's going on, guys, but I'm starting to feel like the Lakers might actually be good because they're 4-0 on the road. They are 7-2 on this season. We have beaten the second best team, or was the second best team in the Western Conference, in the San Antonio Spurs. Got Wemby in foul trouble. Wemby actually played like a human being instead of a human unicorn that he is against our Los Angeles Lakers. He did not play the best. He did not play at peak Wemby mode. But you know who did? You know who did play at peak mode? It is Luka, the Luka Doncic. Because Luka, he's all about strength, support, endurance, salvation, coming together as one, and survival. That's what we're all about. So today we read from the book, the Psalms chapter 121, verses 1 through 2, where they say, "From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth." Yes, because the Los Angeles Lakers, we made the heaven and earth of the NBA. And now we are getting closer to that heaven, closer to that salvation. But I need the people to start believe not only in the players who play so well, including Jeremy tried to look at me sideways when during the off season. I told y'all, I was like, that Marcus Smart pickup, it's actually might be a good one. Might be a good one. And what do you know? What do you see? 5-0 with Marcus Smart. 5-0 with Marcus Smart in the starting lineup. 17, 5-5. One of the most boneheaded moves at the end of that game, but still 17, 5-5 for Marcus Smart. 5-0 with Marcus Smart in the starting lineup. But let's talk about another person. I'm just going through all the people. Because Jeremy, he is better than Peter. He is better than Peter. Peter just denied Jesus 3 times. He just denied Jesus 3 times after he was arrested. No, I'll tell you who. Jeremy denied each and every one of these Laker players. He tried to deny Austin Reeves. We won't talk about Austin Reeves because he didn't play last night. He tried to deny him, say he's not the third best player on the team. He's not the third best option in the league. And now he's been showing him 31-9 for the season. But in someone else that Jeremy tried to deny was the dominating. And what did dominating do against Wembyama? Against the unicorn? Against 7-foot speed out the window with athleticism unlike any 7-footer of all time? One of the greatest 7-footers ever? What did he do against him? 22-10. 22-10. After 29-10 the other night against his whole team, against one of the best centers in the league, the best defender in the league. 22-10. And let's talk about the Luka Doncic, because you're only as good as your leader. And Luka Doncic, 35, 13, and 9. This boy is shooting 55% from the field. 55% from the field. They can't stop him from getting to the rim. His 3-point percentage is not well. It's not doing well. But that's going to get better. That's going to get better because this man, they're going to have to give him the 3 because they're going to have to protect the paint now because he can't be stopped. Unstoppable. We are seeing numbers that we have not seen since Wilt Chamberlain, the most dominant player of all time. Luka Doncic, 5 games into the season, 40 points per game. 40 points per game on 8.5 assists, 55% from the field. We are seeing greatness, ladies and gentlemen. Greatness. So believe in the greatness, follow the greatness, and support the greatness. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost.
Amen. In response to that, Austin Reeves is the second option right now, not the third, DeAndre Ayton's playing very well. I give him credit. I still love the Dominating nickname. Now, I was the one who was perpetuating the Dominating nickname last year in Portland. He sadly didn't work out too well for Portland. But he's playing great with the Lakers. Marcus Smart gets away. Like, people want to talk about flopping.
Oh my God, he might be he might be the most underrated. Like you know how they say, oh, this person's an underrated GOAT. Marcus Smart, one of the most underrated. I was all focused on the drop that he did in the first game when he did the drop like that. But every game he has like these hilarious flops. It's hilarious every game.
He gets like touched and he'll just fall. There was a play last night into the game where the Lakers are inbounding the ball, and you know how it is inbounding the ball. You're full court. You battle a little bit as the defender tries to deny the inbound. Marcus Smart will just fall, and then they'll call a foul. Like, oh, foul. He did this so much in Boston. I remember one play where, again, it's just like a little shove off, and he'll just foul off of that. The shove off happens every single inbounds play, but Marcus Smart will fall down every single time. And look, I gotta give him some credit for it.
He's honestly one of my favorite players on this team right now.
If he's gonna get that call, more credit to him. Like, I think the refs are dumb as hell for calling it every single time, but if they're gonna call it, then I understand kind of abusing it, honestly. It's gonna get annoying if the Lakers get to the playoffs. When they get to the playoffs, they're a playoff team. When they get to the playoffs and they play a team, my team, I don't care about the other teams, and if they play the Thunder, I'm going to be super annoyed by all of this stuff. But for right now, sure. He wants to flop around and do all these things. Okay.
So am I going to come here on Monday since we're playing this weekend? We're playing this weekend, right?
We're playing on Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah. So we got a show on Thursday.
Yeah, because we got Atlanta. I was thinking because I saw the next couple of games and I was like, we got Atlanta, we got you. That's the big test. That's the big test of where we're at, how we play that game against y'all.
I don't know who's going to be healthy for that game for us. That's the issue.
That's your only issue right now is that everybody's not healthy.
I mean, we're still playing great despite the lack of health and everything. But yeah, like, it's tough to. I'm invested in the season, but until like Dub comes back, I'm like, all right. Like, I just hope guys play well. Like, it's nice to see the growth of AJ. It's nice to see the growth of Wiggins, and they don't get these opportunities with Dub being out. So I do like that portion of it, but I just miss watching Dub playing basketball. Chet's in and out of the lineup. We just got to get healthy with things. The Lakers will be a test for us as well because look, they're playing great. I can't deny that. Like, they're playing outstanding. Jose is saying
JJ Redick needs more credit.
Yeah,
JJ Redick, he's proven all the naysayers wrong through to me personally. I think that the way he coached that game against Portland, and then just his ability to coach them up in this first half of the season without any LeBron, it's been very impressive.
He's done a hell of a job, and look, it helps to have Luka Doncic, who is on a different level right now. Like, Luka's playing the best I've seen him play. I mean, I would say since the finals run, that's the playoffs and everything. As far as regular season goes, like, this is certainly the best regular season he's had in forever. Certainly the best start, because he usually gets off to a slow start and then starts to turn it around and ramps up as the playoffs draw closer. But certainly the best start. So Luka's playing great. I will say this on the Wemby front, and you mentioning that the Lakers were able to hold Wemby in check. The Phoenix Suns held Wemby in check. Like, the Phoenix Suns bullied him.
He's had 2 back-to-back games that hasn't seemed like himself. So I think it's more of just sophomore things. He's not going to have a traditional sophomore slump, but I think he's going to have games like this.
What's his 3rd season now? He's not sophomore. He's a junior, technically.
Dude, he's a sophomore. He hasn't even played. Has he played 82 games yet?
Yeah, he's played 82 games. Hold on. I'm looking it up. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it here. He's played 82 games total. Let's see. He's played 124.
123. And 124.
Yeah, he played 71 his first season.
He's a sophomore. He's in his second season.
I'm looking at
he's played 82 games in half of his second season.
Okay. Chet has played less games than Wemby. There's a fact.
I remember I was the guy who was saying this is the worst that Chet will be last year when they were in the finals, because I know that Chet has not played enough games.
Yeah, Chet's only played 119 games. So, all right. Well, technically Wemby is a junior, but if you want to consider him a sophomore, that's fine. I get your line of thinking there. Jose saying, is Chet's injury his back? It's his back partially. I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like I can say this pretty freely. OKC's being very cautious with everybody. If this were the playoffs, do I think Chet would be in the lineup last night? Yes, 100%. If this was a playoff game last night, I think Chet would have played. It was back-to-back. He's a little sore. He's a little banged up. It was 3 games in 4 nights. Why play him?
And it was a close game y'all lost. It wasn't like y'all got blown out. Like, yeah, you could have won that game. So it wasn't like you needed Chet to play back on that back-to-back.
Yeah, Dort was out. Caruso literally sat because of rest. OKC's not resting guys in the playoffs. You know, they're being very cautious with everybody. I think it's the same thing with Dub. Now, I don't think Dub is like healthy enough to play or anything, but I do think, hey, just chill. We need you. We need you in June. I'm sure you didn't listen to. Maybe you did. It was Jay Will, Caruso, and Kaysen Wallace. They were on the Young Man and the Three, JJ Redick's former podcast, when it was called The Old Man and the Three. They were on that podcast, and they were telling stories about Caruso being traded to the team last year, and he came into like training camp and everything, and Jay Will was like, I thought he sucked. Like he wasn't giving no effort, he wasn't hustling or anything. Like it looked like he didn't even want to practice out there. He's like, I just didn't think he was very good. I was like, this dude's washed. And Caruso's like, yeah, I don't really care about like training camp and everything. He's like, you want me in training camp? You want me in preseason, or you want me in June? When do you want me? And Jay Will's like, all right, I get that. And that's what I think about now with these things. I was like, you want Dub, you want Kaysen, you want Caruso. I mean, Kaysen's playing hard, but you want Dub, you want Chet, you want Caruso. You want them the first 10 games of the season, or you want them in June? We want these guys in June. So that's my line of thinking moving forward.
I heard someone make the argument, and I kind of agree with it. The success of Alex Caruso is elevating the legacy of the 2020 Lakers. he is like, in the fact that we have 2 more titles from players that played on that team, with KCP with the Denver Nuggets and then Caruso with the Thunder. Like, yeah. For all of y'all that tried to make fun of us all these years, our legacy is growing with Alex Caruso's legacy at the same time.
The Lakers are playing well. The game next week will be fun, hopefully. Yeah. It's regular season. We'll see you in June, hopefully. I hope that's so. What it matters.
I hope you see us in May and June.
I will say, let me victory lap this real quick. The Minnesota Timberwolves suck, and I was correct about that, at least through 9 games in this season. I think they'll turn it around. I know Ants missed a couple of games. He was back last night.
That's what they do.
That's not a good team, though. I'm telling you, this is not the year where it's like, oh, they get off to a slow start, and I still think they're a playoff team. I still pick them to make the playoffs. I just don't think they're that good. Their defense, when Gobert sits, I mean, people think Gobert isn't a good defender at this point. Their defense is like 20 points worse when Gobert sits. Yeah. Naz Reid and Julius Randle defending, it ain't good. And I told everybody it wasn't going to. If Julius Randle is your second option, you ain't winning. You're not winning with Julius Randle as your second option.
He's had to be the first option over the last couple of games because of
Well, then you really ain't winning.
Because of Ant-Man's, but I think it's gonna be fine. I am not panicking at this point They have beaten the teams they were supposed to beat. They lost to the Knicks. You act like that's the big determining factor. One of the best teams in the Eastern Conference.
It's not just losing to the. I mean, they got whooped by the Knicks. That wasn't just a loss.
Yeah, they got whooped by the league, but they haven't had any loss that makes me go like, yeah, they're much worse than I thought they were.
They've
lost to the Lakers. They've lost to the Nuggets. They've lost to the Knicks. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, but then look at their wins. Portland, fine. Portland's playing well. First game of the season. Hold on. Yeah, Portland playing well. The first game of the season. Indiana, not a good team, especially with all the injuries. Charlotte and Brooklyn. These aren't good teams. So, all right, you're saying, like, look at their losses. They haven't lost to anybody. They haven't lost anybody bad. They've only lost to good teams. I'll flip that and say, look at their wins. They haven't beaten anybody worthwhile, honestly.
It honestly just means they've beaten the teams they're supposed to beat, and they've lost to the teams they're supposed to lose to. And one of them was
which means they are a mediocre team, which is where I put them.
On a floater at the buzzer. That's one of their losses.
Okay, which again means that they are a mediocre team, which is where I put them. In a mid-level
a mediocre team with Anthony Edwards missing 3 games. Yes.
Yeah, they're mediocre. They're mediocre. He missed 3 games. Which games did he miss? A Lakers game where maybe they would have won with him. Charlotte and Brooklyn. They were going to beat Charlotte. I mean, they literally beat Charlotte and Brooklyn without him. You didn't need him for those games.
So they're 5 in a perfect world. The Ant plays that Lakers game. They beat the Lakers. They're 5-3. 5-3. They're right in the mix with the Portlands, with the San Antonio Spurs. Like, what are we talking about? I don't think anything we've seen so far is saying that it's all. If they had played all 8 games with Anthony Edwards and they're 4-4, I agree with you. Then we have to be like, okay, Jeremy might have been right to be like, if the Timberwolves are not as good as everybody says. But they played 3 of those games without Anthony Edwards, so it's nothing that we can kind of take as validation of your opinion.
They went 2-1 against the Nets and Hornets. Those teams suck. Maybe they beat the Lakers, but if Luka plays for the Lakers, we already saw the Lakers beat them. So I don't think you can say like, oh, they're 5-3. Let's not do hypotheticals here. I know Luka fans love hypotheticals.
No, they're 4-4. Well, 4-4. I've established what the reality is. It's 4-4. They've beaten the teams they're supposed to beat. They've lost to the teams they're supposed to lose to.
Yes. So they're mediocre, which is what I said. They are a mediocre team.
They're mediocre with Anthony Edwards not playing 3 of those 8 games. Yes.
They're mediocre with him in those games. They're worse with him, SP3. They're worse with him because they're 2-1 without him. So he's played 5 games, right? What's their record with him?
I know their record with them.
Worse! That's their record with him!
We're basing this on the first 8 games.
Oh, I know. It's 8 games. I literally said on this show 2 days ago that I don't look at anything until about Christmas. Christmas is when you start to determine who teams are. And until then, games happen and people are going to make their hot takes, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And then you learn things about at Christmas. That's when you figure out who teams are. That's when you see who starts to separate themselves with everything. But for entertainment purposes only, I'm out here and I'm going to slander the Timberwolves as being a mediocre team because I said they would be a mediocre team.
He's like, I'm right. So why y'all booing me? I'm right though.
I can also admit when I'm wrong. The Clippers suck. They're terrible.
Well, at least okay. We can even out the scales. I did call that one.
Yeah, I can admit when I'm wrong too. I have no problem with that. The Clippers look every bit of old as people were worried that they would be.
As SP3 said they would.
Yeah.
I said that's a retirement home. What are we talking about? Why was everybody convinced this was NBA 2K19? Like, what are we talking about?
I watched the game. I watched the Thunder game, which 11 o'clock start is still dumb as hell. But I watched the Thunder game on Tuesday, and the Clippers got off to a hot start. James Harden was hitting everything. He was like 4 for 4 from three. I was like, stop it. What's this guy doing? But the Clippers were on a back-to-back. In fairness to them, they were on a back-to-back. They didn't have Kawhi, and I was just like, just get it close to the half, and this team will complete. Their legs will be shot in the second half, and that's exactly what happened. Like, I was not worried about them at all in the second half of that game. Credit John Collins, he played great. The funniest part of that game, I felt so bad. I felt so bad for Chris Paul. Alex Caruso just checked into that game. And I don't know who told him this. I don't know if Shea decided to fuck with Chris Paul because Shea was talking shit to Chris Paul's family the entire game. So I don't know if Shea told him this or if Caruso just decided to do this. But Caruso's mission was, I'm going to deny 40-year-old Chris Paul the ball. He is not touching this basketball when he gets in the game. And he guarded him like he was prime Steph Curry out there. Of like, nope, you ain't touching the ball, old man. And I felt so bad for Chris. He's trying to work and like free up to get the ball. They're trying to set him screens, and Alex Caruso's like, no, dude, you ain't touching this basketball tonight. I was like, oh, that's just mean. This dude's 40. Even if he touches the ball, like, he doesn't have the same explosiveness and athleticism that he used to. Like, why you got to do that to him, Caruso? I felt bad for Chris Paul.
Shouldn't. You shouldn't. He did it to himself. He played 82 games last season. You should have enough to get by. At least get your hands on the ball and then get it stolen from you, probably. But yeah, not surprised that the Thunder looked good against the Clippers, and the Clippers did not look so good. I think one of the main surprises that we didn't talk about on Tuesday was we did talk about Giannis a little bit, but the Bucks have been playing pretty well so far to start the season.
And they just lost a game the other day that they shouldn't have lost.
No,
yeah,
but I think
they're playing.
Overall, they're playing well.
Yeah, they lost to the Raptors. That was not a great loss.
Yeah,
they're playing better than I guess expected. I mean, they've beaten some good teams, and then they got some not so great losses in there. Good on them. Like that's a tough division. That's turned out to be a tough division. Actually, yeah. Cleveland, they're as good as people expected them to be. Detroit, we were both high on Detroit, and they're playing great. And then Chicago, I mean, MVP Josh Giddey out here at 6-1. So credit to the Chicago Bulls. Shout out to Ryan and Louie.
All you got to do, guys, is play well against the Lakers, and your whole career can turn around.
The Josh Giddey half-court shot.
Remember how we talked about Josh Giddey before that half-court shot? And how do we talk about him now?
People, longtime FMC viewers, will know I was up on Josh Giddey from the very beginning. And then I had to pull back because of allegations, and I couldn't, go full bore with my love after that. But people know I was extremely high on Josh Giddey from the very start. So I love seeing him play this well. It's great. Good on him. He's the guy that he was 6 overall. He was picked 6 overall. It's not like this guy was some late round draft pick or some second round pick like blossoming. He's a 6 overall pick. People knew he would be good. He was drafted by the Thunder. The Thunder's draft history is pretty good. So the fact that they drafted him and saw something in him, people should have known he was going to be good. He didn't fit with that team. No. It's a trade that worked out for both sides. Good on Josh Giddey playing this well. I hope the Bulls keep it up. I hope Josh Giddey keeps it up. You're not going to find, this is the weird thing, and I know I talked about it a little bit on Tuesday. Bulls fans trying to create like this fake beef with Thunder fans over this trade is the lamest shit ever. We don't have an issue with this deal. We love Giddey. We're happy to see him do well. We got a ring, all right? Alex Caruso helped us get a ring. We're cool with this trade. You guys trying to act like, we fleeced, and I can't believe they traded a superstar for a 30-year-old 3-and-D guy. It's like, at the time, you guys hated the deal. We're happy Josh Giddey is playing well. We're also very happy to have a championship ring. So just you guys enjoy the Bulls' success and Josh Giddey's success. We'll enjoy Alex Caruso's success and the Thunder success. We can root for each other. There's no rivalry between the Thunder and Bulls. Come on now. Hey, these teams ain't rivals out here. We can coexist as friends. This fake, lame.
I
Oh,
mean,
we fleeced you. I can't believe you guys did this deal. Sam Presti's a terrible GM because he did this deal. Shut up. Your team ain't won shit in forever. Shut up.
It's working out both for both teams. Unlike the other trade from our two teams with the Dallas Mavericks, where I even see Dallas Maverick fans like wish death upon Lakers fans.
Yeah,
because now the trade looks even worse 8 games into this season.
Man, everyone knew that trade was bad, though. No one. Yeah, I mean, that's out of Lakers fans.
Everyone knew, but this offseason got Mavericks fans to kind of flip the script, and we're like, "Well, it actually worked out for us. Great, we got the number 1 pick. Yeah. We're gonna have AD. We're gonna have Kyrie. We're gonna have a better defense, and you got Luka, who's fat. He can't play defense. You guys don't have a center. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be championship contenders when Kyrie comes back."
That was cope. That was all cope for Dallas Mavericks fans, because true Dallas Mavericks fans were also huge Luka fans, and they couldn't believe this trade happened, and they were angry as they should have been when it went down. And so during the offseason, when they lucked into a lottery number 1 pick and got Cooper Flagg, they tried to cope into, the optimistic side. Oh, Cooper, we got Cooper Flagg. He's going to be a generational player. Anthony Davis is still great. Defense wins titles. The Mavericks put out all those hit pieces all about Luka and everything. It was all cope from Dallas fans. I don't believe any Dallas fan that was actually trying to justify this trade. They ain't true Mavericks fans to me. Maybe they're true Mavericks fans in the sense of like, well, the Mavs are my team. I guess I better see the positive side of things, because truthfully, if you inject them with some truth serum, they're going to tell you this was a dumbass trade. Our team got far worse. We were in the finals last year. All we just needed was Luka to be healthy. We were running back the same team with a couple of good additions. We would have been good. And for some reason, they decided to blow that up for a 32-year-old, injury-prone big man who is a second-tier star and can't lead a team. And then Kyrie got hurt. And then, you got Cooper Flagg. And look, Cooper Flagg, I think, will be a very good player. But it didn't help you now. And this team was built to win now. This is not a team of like, let's look into the future with everything. I think they should do that, mind you. I think they should trade away Gafford. I think they should trade away Davis. When Kyrie comes back, I kind of think they should trade away him. I think they should sell off the team and actually build something around Cooper Flagg. At least Davis and Gafford. I like Derek Lively. We'll see how good he turns out to be. Kyrie keeping around to have a serviceable point guard is probably ideal for everything.
Yeah. Because you see how life is without him. Without a serviceable point guard.
Yeah, they're playing D'Angelo Russell, which was never going to work, mind you. Everyone knew
their offense is actually better with D'Angelo Russell. And keep it it's not about them. It's not about the Mavs defense. Their offense may be one of the worst I've seen in this league so far this season. Like their offense, they can't score the ball, especially with no AD. No AD, no Kyrie, both are injured, can't score the ball. And I wouldn't say Cooper Flagg is a bust, but you can't expect a rookie to come in and be the main scorer for your team.
Their offense is better with D'Angelo Russell, yes, because D'Angelo Russell, for all of his flaws, he's at least a point guard, and he can score and run an offense.
He's a bucket.
A certain extent.
He's a bucket.
Yeah.
D'Angelo's a bucket.
Yeah, I mean, he also gives up a lot of buckets, and that's always been.
Oh yeah, he plays no defense. He's a bucket, though. He plays no defense.
Yeah. Oh, the Mavericks are. No Mavericks fan was happy with that trade. Again, if they were, they're lying to you, or they're just trying to cope with this whole thing. I think Cooper Flagg will be good. Anyone calling him a bust is stupid. We're talking 8 games into his career. Let's not judge somebody 8 games into their career, especially the situation he's been put in with his point guard being D'Angelo Russell and the team being not built around his strengths. He's not a full-on playmaker. He was a good scorer in college. He's a good defender, good rebounder. Like he's a well-rounded player, but he was not tasked with doing a ton of playmaking in college. And now that's kind of what they're tasking him with, and he's gonna struggle. It'll be good for his overall like long-term development. I thought he played well in the clutch last night against the Pelicans. The Pelicans suck, but I thought he played well.
How did you lose that game?
The Mavericks they're on the same level as the Pelicans. That's how they lost.
Yeah, they're last place now. They're tied record wise, but they're last place because of the tiebreaker.
Yeah, like this is what it is, King Potato. Like
yeah, they
not
should've.
getting Austin Reeves in that deal.
God, how did you not do that?
I don't know how you did not walk away with Austin Reeves in that deal. I just
Austin Reeves would be doing the same thing with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah,
he probably put up like 60. He probably put out 60 with this team.
Imagine now. I don't know if they would have been in the lottery had they made the Austin Reeves deal, but maybe because I don't know if they would have made the playoffs either because they were a play-in team and they lost the second game. Yeah, if Kyrie was healthy, then I think they win that play-in game against Memphis. Or the Sacramento. Also Sacramento. No, Memphis, because Memphis was the
Memphis.
Seed.
Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis was the 8 seed. Yeah. So I think they win that play-in game against Memphis. But they didn't get Austin Reeves. They should have. This is bad. Nico Harrison made one of the worst trades of all time.
That trade looks so much better if they get Austin Reeves, and Austin Reeves is playing like he played to start this season. Like, Jesus, damn.
Nico's gonna Nico. It was all the league rigged it anyway.
Indeed.
They rigged it for Luka to go to the Lakers because interest in the league was down, and then they rigged the draft for the Mavericks. That's how I'm looking at it.
Hey,
guys, we're like 30 minutes.
Interest is up to start this season, though.
It is. I think the Peacock deal has helped that.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say the fact that it not only that, but Peacock and Amazon as well, because I watch Amazon on Friday nights. Like seeing it on different platforms and hearing different voices talk about it instead of the same 4 or 5 talking heads from TNT and ESPN. It's actually refreshing, and it's actually I think it's improving the conversations and discourse in the NBA as well.
Yeah, they're actually breaking stuff down, not just spouting out hot takes.
Exactly,
we can do that. We can spout.
Yeah,
out
exactly.
Hot takes.
Exactly. We could do that all day. Just hire us. They got Kenny Beecham, yo. I can't believe it. I'm still shocked by that Peacock hired Kenny Beecham, king of the fourth quarter, who became like a famous YouTuber off of making NBA 2K rebuilds. And he started a basketball podcast and then went from the basketball podcast to now he's working on Peacock. This opens the door for everybody, just like me and Jeremy. You got YouTubers who are working with NBA on Peacock, then it opens the door for people like me and Jeremy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll hire us. We've correctly predicted the last 4 NBA champions. You know?
They might as well just get us for prediction. I think that our strengths. I was thinking about this the other day. I think that Jeremy is really good with the X's and O's, as I like to call it, the JJ Redick style of analyzing basketball. Where I am more, admittedly, I don't agree with him. I don't like him all that much, and don't agree with any of his politics. But I am more of a Stephen A. Smith type of analyst when it comes to basketball. I talk loud. I'm boisterous. I could take elements from him and still be better than him. Like I said, I don't like him at all, but I could take elements from him and kind of adopt it into my own. At least I'm not Skip. I don't want to be Skip.
Yeah, you're better. You're better than Steve.
Okay, so I'll say Shannon. Well, no, Shannon Sharp.
Oh no! You don't want to say that. No.
Damn! All of my black representatives have to be creeps and awful people. Damn it.
Yeah, you don't want to say. You don't want to put yourself in the Shannon Sharp category out here. Folks, we're 40 minutes in this show. I don't think I did the thumbs up for the fireworks or anything. The first 40 minutes were the fireworks of this show as SP3 and I banter about basketball as we tend to do on these Thursday and Tuesday shows. Leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a super chat, all that fun stuff. Get your question, comment, statement read on the air. All right. We want to move on to Dynamite, or we do the TikTok game first?
You decide.
Let's do Dynamite SP3. And you know what I got? Because we're about to talk about Dynamite.
What do you got?
I got a gift for everybody.
Oh, for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody.
That's nice.
SP3, you get a belt.
Oh, thanks.
Belt.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Chat. You get a belt. Audio listeners, you get a belt. And me, as I disappear.
No. That could be for Joel. Here, I got this belt for you.
Joel gets a belt. Everyone out here.
Everyone gets a belt.
Gets a belt.
It is beltception. WWE had an obsession with shoes 2 weeks ago, and now AEW has an obsession with belts, or it's been had an obsession with belts. Yeah. It's like Tony Khan's favorite thing about professional wrestling. It's belts.
So before AEW Dynamite goes on the air, Tony Khan is with Tony Schiavone in a hotel room, and he's like, "I got an announcement to make." He didn't do the graphic. At least they should have done the graphic. Tony Khan makes a huge game-changing, landscape-changing announcement. So I was like, we got an announcement to make. So we're going to institute the AEW National Championship. He talks about the history of the NWA Georgia Mid-Atlantic national title and all this stuff. He's like, the national title's coming back to TBS. Tony Schiavone's really excited about all this. And he's like, this is my favorite part of this whole thing. He's like, I talked to promoters. I talked to our friends at New Japan Strong. I talked to ROH. Like, you are ROH, Tony. You are the booker for ROH.
You talk to yourself?
Yeah. Tony's just in the mirror, and he's like, hey, you want the national title on ROH programming? You're just looking back. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. I love to have the national title on ROH programming. It's like, this title is going to be defended in all these promotions. Like, all right. The first champion will be decided at AEW Full Gear in a casino gauntlet match. Lashley, Shelton, and Ricochet are already been announced for this casino gauntlet. Another championship. 3 to 4 weeks after they introduced another championship.
Which was about 2.5 months after they introduced another championship. Which was 4 months after Tony Khan introduced another championship. Yes, we have had 4 different championships introduced in the year of our Lord 2025.
What was the first one? Hold on. What was the first one introduced? What am I missing?
First one was the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship.
Oh, that shit doesn't count.
It does count. It does count because
we still don't have a champion in that thing.
Exactly. That was the foreshadowing of what would be the announcement last night. Is him announcing the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship earlier this year was everybody responding like, but why? What do you need another women's title in Ring of Honor for? Like that was the response. Then he was like, you know what? I'm actually going to listen to you guys. I'm going to combine 2 of the mid-card titles to make one bigger title, like a secondary world title. I'm going to combine the international and the continental, make it the unified title. And that was actually given some positive feedback. People were like, Oh, yeah, that's actually cool. You got rid of one of your mid card titles. That's actually pretty decent. Little did you know he was just going to replace that mid card title just a few months later. Then he announces the AEW Women's World Tag Team titles, which everybody was like, yeah, that makes sense. The women's division is doing well. It's bigger than it's ever been. You have tag teams here. It makes sense to go for women's tag team titles. And then this announcement, it just came out of nowhere. There was no lead up. The reasoning is awful. Like the reasoning is we are going to defend it in other companies. You had a title that was like that. And I think each champion defended it a handful of times outside of the company, and it didn't really amount to anything. It didn't generate more business for you. It didn't generate more eyes on the product. It didn't improve the TV ratings. It didn't improve the attendance ratings. It didn't do anything. It didn't change the quality of AEW television. It didn't do anything. So I don't understand, after you made the adjustment and got rid of one mid-card title, why are you bringing back another mid-card title? And why is it pretty clear to me that you are just bringing in this mid-card title in so you have a different division to do the Demand versus the Hurt Syndicate? Not in the Trios division. You needed a whole new division for probably Bobby Lashley to dominate for the next 6 months like they did in the tag team division. Oh my God. That, like, on a good episode of Dynamite, this inconceivable and really baffling decision to add another title just feels like you're weighing your company down with stuff that you don't need, that doesn't improve anything. Business, quality, entertainment, it does not add anything.
I'll throw one more at you. The ROH Interim Women's Television Championship, for some reason, also became a thing this year. Even though Red Velvet is back now, and you didn't really need that title when you introduced it, but they decided, we're gonna do this title.
There wasn't. Well. I forgot about the interim. You didn't need that. You didn't just because you wanted a matchup at Supercard of Honor. That's why you crowned an interim champion to do Mina versus Red Velvet, and then by the time Red Velvet's healthy, Mina's not the champion. Oh my God, I hate all of this. A national title. Like MVP couldn't even get the name right. He called it the international title.
So did Excalibur. He kept calling it the international title as well.
It's so unnecessary. Like there is so many other things that I think that AEW needs to improve. Like I would say, since All In, AEW has really been lacking in a main narrative for the entire company. Yes, Hangman Page is the world champion, but he doesn't always feel like the focus. Last night, he was the focus because he was featured in the opening segment and he was featured in the closing segment. So they actually did do well to build heat, build tension in the Joe versus Hangman storyline, even though they kind of did that in a weird way, which we'll bring up later. But at least it was focused on there. But Hangman has not been the main story since All In. The reason why it feels like AEW television is not on the high that it was going into All In and at All In is because it's still on the Death Riders. The main story is still the Death Riders for some reason, for some stupid ass reason that you needed to complete this end of the Death Riders thing so we can get to Blood and Guts. Whatever the reason, but that's been the main thing, I think, in my opinion, since All In, is the lack of a main narrative thread. If it's not the Death Riders, you could have said that the Hangman redemption arc. You had two main stories that culminated in this one big matchup, and it's similar to what happened with WWE at WrestleMania 40, where they had two main stories that were culminating in this one big matchup. Cody finishing his story, the Bloodline saga, it all culminated in one big matchup, and WWE struggled for the rest of 2024 to find a main narrative to drive up, fan perception and fan enthusiasm into the product. That's what's been missing the last 3 to 4 months with AEW. That's what he should be focusing on. That's what he should be adding to it, is make a main event story that gets people into the product again. And instead, he's adding a mid-card title that will have no difference on the quality of the program.
It rules that Tony just goes to titles. It's like, we just need more titles. He looks at Mercedes and he's like, man, people really love that you keep winning all these titles. You're getting a lot of interest. You're getting a lot of talking about you, good and bad, with all of these titles. We should add more titles to our company. We'll get a lot of interest. We'll get a lot of people talking about us, good or bad. Doesn't matter. We're just going to keep adding these titles. I'm a little sad they didn't do a tournament for this title. They're doing the Casino Gauntlet instead. What we really needed was multiple tournaments with all of this. Because you got to think, like, they did unify to create the Unified Championship, the Continental and the International title. We have the Continental title, or Continental tournament, coming up here at the end of this month, just in a couple weeks, honestly. I still think, like, assuming Okada doesn't win this thing again, the Continental Champion, we're going to get a new Continental Champion off of this.
It's not for the Continental title.
Is it not?
From what I heard in the post-media scrum after All In, I remember him saying the Continental Classic would be for the Unified title.
Is that what they're doing?
That's what I remember.
Okay. I mean, you could be. Tony Khan says a lot of things. It would also not shock me.
He can switch it up on us. Yes, we've seen this.
All right. Okay, if they're gonna do that, if they're gonna do it for the Unified Championship, then at least they're keeping it as one title. I don't fully believe that is going to happen. I think that they will do the Continental title and separate it, because this is what we thought. This with Eddie Kingston, right? Oh, you're Triple Crown champion, and then what happened? It was just 3 separate titles. It was not one title like people thought it was going to be. I think it's gonna be similar here. I think it's going to be the Continental title. It's just going to be a separate thing. It's called the Continental Classic. It's not called the Unified Classic.
It's called the Continental Classic because it features stars from different continents. It's not because it's for the Continental Championship. So
but they introduced a Continental Championship.
I know they have. That was a stupid choice. But the reason why it's called the Continental Classic is not because it's for the Continental title. It's because I explained why it's called that. So if you needed to understand why is it still called that, that's the reason. Not because of the Continental title. It's because of the stars featured from different continents. It was only 2 years ago, guys. It was only 2 years ago. Where I
can't remember what I had for breakfast.
I know.
Come on now.
I know. That's why I'm here, to remember all these things for y'all.
Yes, your memory is very good. Yeah, your memory is very good. They should call it the Unified Classic. I don't care, since if the Unified title is going to be on the line. It's not called the G1 title, but they get a G1 trophy and a G1 briefcase that gives them a shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight title. There is no title.
I think the Continental Classic should be, it should determine a Continental champion who can cash in the championship to get a shot at the Unified title.
We don't need more cash-in gimmicks. We don't
cash it in to get a shot at the Unified. No, but like Continental trophy to cash it. Yeah, I don't think that the tournament should be for the title. I said that last year. I thought that the tournament last year should have been to get a shot at the world title. But since they have a Unified title now, it should be to get a shot at Okada for the Unified title.
Oh, I think they should now. The Continental Classic should be to get a title shot at the National Championship.
Oh,
How about this? Since they got the world title, they got the Unified title, they got the TNT title, and they got the national title, right? Am I missing anything? You want to throw the ROH title on there? I mean, the ROH champion's on AEW TV more than the ROH TV, so you want to throw the ROH title on there? He's one half of the tag team champions. You can throw in the tag team titles and the trios titles on here, right? That's about 7 titles, right? Whoever wins the Continental Classic, you draw a title out of a hat, and that is the championship you get to go for. You win this whole tournament, and for all you know, you could just end up with a trios title match because you drew it out of a hat. Or maybe you spin the wheel. They love the spin the wheel gimmick out here. That should be the prize for the Continental Classic. A random title shots that you can cash in whenever you want. I'll even throw the cash in gimmick on there. You get a random title shot whenever you want by winning the Continental Classic. That's my idea.
So, I've been talking about this a lot on everything I do. I have an issue with how people respond to criticism in wrestling. And it seems that depending on what you're a fan of, what promotion, you have a different way of doing it. And it seems that every time AEW fans get any type of criticism towards AEW, we get comments like Henry in the chat who says Power Driver TK's breathes and it brings negative perception to AEW. Or Power Driver Finisher who says, right, he just created a title and now a whole lot of unnecessary complaining. This is how you can tell you're not listening to the criticism. The criticism is this doesn't add anything to AEW. You're saying I think it's fun. I think it's a fun idea and stuff like that. But what does it add? What is it gonna do? What is it gonna do for someone who's not a fan of AEW to attract them to watch AEW? What is it gonna add to AEW television that's not already there? Is it gonna add another great match? If Bobby Lashley's the champion, probably not. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Bobby Lashley being the first champion.
There's nothing about the title's gonna be defended in other promotions. We've seen that before. We've been there. We've done that. So what is it adding new to the product?
Bobby Lashley. Not even the same.
They're trying to act. They're trying to lie to the viewers and tell them it's a title that it's not a title of that Mike Mondo owns. They trying to front.
Oh, come on.
They trying to lie to y'all. I'm gonna call out AEW the same way I call out WWE. When they lie to their viewers, I'm gonna call them out. AEW lied to all of y'all last night. Try to act like this title is a part of the lineage of the NWA National Championship. It's not. It's a title because Tony Khan likes titles. That's all it is. It's not to add anything to the product. It's not to make them more money, get them new viewers. It's not to make you like AEW more. It's just because Tony Khan has a fetish with titles. He don't like a whole lot of women, but he loves titles.
Bobby Lashley being the first champion would be amazing. Because he ain't going nowhere to defend this title. I said, Bobby, you want to go to ROH? And you want to go to New Japan Strong, which I don't think actually exists anymore. New Japan Strong was the last. I know they're coming back to America like next year, but come on now, they've run like 2 shows in America this year. That New Japan Strong doesn't exist. Okay, Bobby's like, nah, I ain't going to these companies. Or how much you paying me? How quickly am I beating this dude? And like, you can beat Ishii in 5 minutes. All right, fine. Well, beat Ishii. Best wishes to Ishii. He's out with a shoulder injury. But come on now. That's who he's going to face. He's just going to face Ishii. That's it. Bobby, you want to go to ROH and face Ishii? Yeah, sure. I'll face Ishii. Ain't going to face anybody important. When in doubt, add a title, add Ishii. That's the 2 break glass in case of emergency. Ishii and championships.
Oh my god. Power Driver Finisher says, so an extra title, I get it. It doesn't do much. But also, being this deserves outrage. All right, it's wrestling. Who gives a shit? Who said this deserves outrage? I rant on this if I like something. I rant on something. This is not outrage. I said it deserves criticism. This is why I said, once again, Power Driver Finisher. I understand you're an AEW fan, so you're not listening to any of the criticism that is being levied, the valid criticism that is being levied to this decision. I understand that, so I'm just going to move on.
Pal Michael Wallace Seals says, damn SP3, I'll pay for that rant. Hope all is well, brothers. Hope you're doing well, Micah. Yes. Go Avs, go. 1 regulation loss this season. Lost every game that we have lost by 1 goal. I think we have a good squad this year, Micah. Hopefully we're able to keep it up and take this to another championship. So hope you're doing well. Micah. Instead of championships, because belts something to hold your pants up, right? Instead of belts, You know what they should do? They should do suit jackets for the men and dresses for the women. Like a gold dress, or maybe it's blue. They should do that. And then like a suit jacket, like they do in golf. So like a green jacket, gold jacket.
You basically were saying, when you said the dress, that's basically the Marigold. No, the Stardom Princess of Princess tournament. That's what they do every year. They do a princess tournament where the winner gets a new dress and they get to pick a match of their own choosing.
Hell, that rules.
I do agree. When I first discovered this about Stardom, I loved it. I was like, wait, so the winner does not get a trophy, gets a dress?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here for all of this.
That sounds awesome. Those titles, they're 10 pounds, maybe more. You got to take them through customs and everything. Everyone complains about it. Nah, just get a new formal wear going on here. You know, yeah. Jacket's easy to get through. Dress is easy to get through. Like, that's what we should do. And Joel, if a woman wants a jacket instead of a dress, they can do that. And if a man wants a dress like Perry Saturn instead of a jacket, we'll give him a dress as well. That's fine. Yeah. They can take your pick. Or socks. What if everybody got new socks when they won?
You know what else bothers me about this whole thing with the title? It felt like, to me, with the title being introduced on this specific show in this week, it was like Tony heard Triple H at the All In Summit when he was like, we don't make these stuff to have great matches. We make it for the stories we can create. And Tony was like, I don't make my show for having great matches. I make it for the titles I can create. Like that was his response. I'm not going to come up with a good story to do. I'm not going to come up with a great match to have. I'm going to create a new title.
Here's why they added another title. I'm going to give you guys the legit reason out here. Okay? And we just saw it. We just saw it a couple weeks ago, but people forget because our memories are so short, especially mine. What event happened a couple of weeks ago, SP3? What AEW event, television special, happened a couple of weeks ago?
September to Remember.
No, too far back.
Sixth anniversary.
Go ahead a week.
Go ahead. The week prior or the week after?
Go jump 1 week from the sixth anniversary.
Tuesday.
Title Tuesday, everybody. How many title matches were on that show? Two title matches. Now, there was another match that did have title implications, but a championship was not on the line during that match. Tony is going to create enough championships to where Title Tuesday is all title matches. That is the goal, because Battle of the Belts doesn't exist anymore. So now Title Tuesday needs all championships. But the problem is he doesn't have enough titles just yet. That is why in the next year or so, get ready. We're seeing the AEW National Championship. That's coming soon, right? Get ready for the AEW Women's Trios Championship. All right? That's coming in the next year or so. Get ready for the AEW Men's and Women's Mixed Tag Championship. That is also going to be coming soon. Get ready for the AEW Women's Intercontinental National Championship. That'll also be coming soon. Mercedes Moné already has that championship. She gets handed the title like she's Triple H in whatever year he just got handed the title. All right?
2002.
Get ready. Thank you. Get ready for all these. Get ready for the AEW Lucha Spectacular Championship. That's coming soon as well. You can only compete for that title if you have a mask. So you're going to see just random people wear a mask just so they can go after the Lucha Spectacular Championship. That's coming as well. Get ready for the AEW Quad Gender Championship. What is that? It's 4 people, men and women, anything, whatever. They're all competing. The Quad Gender Championship. That's coming as well. All in the name of putting every match on Title Tuesday for a title.
I just want to make this clear. I think WWE has way too many titles. I think AEW has way too many titles. I think New Japan has way too many titles. Hell, you know who has way too many titles? CMLL. CMLL has way too many titles. Triple A has way too many titles. TNA has way too many titles, and I don't even know all their champions.
They're all NXT champions.
They're all NXT champions. All these places have way too many titles because not all of their titles are over. If all of AEW's titles was over, I don't think anybody would have an issue with them adding a national championship. But you don't introduce a new title when you're having a tournament for a new title. That seems very much a hat on top of a hat. That's pretty much what Tony Khan did last night.
As a
hat on top
owner,
of a hat.
As a hat owner, I respect hat on top of the hat. This is why we don't have championships in Ring of Hallucinations. It's all about drugs and money. That is what we are after. Drugs and money. Who cares about championships? You know? I like Pile Driver Finisher, who earlier, let's pull up Pile Driver Finisher's comment from earlier. I know I just put that comment.
And I know he probably knows this already, but I love you, Power Driver Finisher. You're a real one. I only criticize or will comment on people's comments unless I really dislike them or I really like them. And you're not Zeno Hour, so I was
gonna say I think the only person that you dislike is Zeno Hour, right?
Yes, that's the only person in the chat. I like everybody else in the chat.
I can't find the comments because we've had so many comments. We appreciate everybody hanging out with the championships, with the championships. Everybody gets a championship. But the comments earlier about it's too many titles or it's just a title, like it's pro wrestling, who cares and everything. That was Pile Driver Finisher, right? SP3. My memory is not completely failing me on there.
You said what? You said
Pile Driver Finisher said earlier, like it's just wrestling. Who gives a shit? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And now he said,
and I didn't even take that seriously from Power Driver Finisher because this is the man
here it is.
that every week when we review Raw, he gets upset about Rusev's existence. So
so here it is. So an extra title, I get it, doesn't do much, but also being like this deserves outrage. All right, it's wrestling. Who gives a shit? So that's that comment. And now he puts this comment. You see, some of the criticisms are fair. It's when you make stuff like this and act like what's really going to happen. I know you're just gimmicking, Jeremy, but you know the general criticism end up being like this. I'm glad you know I'm just like bullshitting with this because you said it yourself. It's wrestling. Who gives a shit? So I am going to bullshit on these things. If you want my true opinion, I said it earlier. It's a title. I truly do not care if they want to keep introducing championships to this. I am of the mind, as people hopefully know by watching this show, I am of the mind of do whatever you want in wrestling. I don't get offended by it. I do not care enough by it because I don't have enough attachment to it. And that is why I do the over the top of like, this is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to do. Now, I do think SP3 makes a good point of, will this make the television better?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm on the other end of the spectrum where I can very emotionally and emotively explain my opinion if something is stupid. If something is stupid, you're gonna get rants. You're gonna get rants from me because I do not want to waste time watching something that I feel like it's insulting my intelligence.
I don't think it's gonna make the television product that much better, honestly. Like they already do good matches. You don't need to add a championship to do good to keep doing good matches. You can just keep putting on good matches. The stuff that hits is the stuff with stakes, and you don't always need a title for that either. But that is unfortunately, and this is where I think Tony does become a victim of TEW and EWR booking, because we know Tony loves that. We know Tony loves those games. And what did people do in those games? They add a title because it adds prestige to a match. It's like, oh, this title's on the line. Now we can add prestige to this match. Because you can't do like stakes in TEW and EWR. They don't have like different stakes in certain matches. There's no number one contendership. Like, you can't make that known in the game. You can do it in your headcanon, but you can't make that known in the game to where it's like, oh, this match is more important because it's a number one contenders match. You can't do that. But you can create a number one contenders title and add that to the game to up the stakes in the game, so your booking looks a little bit better. That's where I feel Tony has gone wrong. Is he's an EWR TEW kid, which bless, same, and he's like, how do I add stakes? I add a championship because that adds prestige to my match, and that adds prestige to my show. That's what I truly think Tony is doing here.
You know what? You might be on to something. I feel like I will take some of the criticism away is if this title is coming right before they do a roster split. Because that's the only way adding another title. No, they're not going to do that. So that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that's the only way that adding a new title makes sense, because then you can split the titles down the middle. You could do one show that has the unified title. So you have the unified title, the TBS title, the TNT title, and the tag team titles. And then the other show has the world title, the national championship, the women's world championship, and it has the trios titles. If you split it like that, then it's perfect. It's perfect. You got titles for certain shows. If you think that the titles are actual draws and gain interest or gain prestige for matches, you could put them on their regular shows. Have one show that has those titles for Dynamite, one show that has the titles for Collision. It might improve the ratings for both shows if you have particular talent on each of the shows, but we'll see what happens.
MCAP's rewind like 5 minutes ago when SP3 mentioned all these companies have championships and pointed that out as well. Yes, they all have too many titles. It's all stupid. None of these companies
all stupid.
Need this many championships. No, nobody needs all these.
No, they do not, Joel. TNA does not have the right amount of championships too, because the international championship is a title for no reason. It's a title for no reason. I know. Joe will never say anything positive about TNA or AEW.
Yeah, he tried to bury TNA for actually putting prestige on their title yesterday. And I had to defend TNA. I became a TNA defender yesterday. That's terrible. Just 2 good stories. Just 2 good stories, guys. That's all we're asking. Here's my biggest issue with this championship, and then we are reviewing Dynamite, Bob. This title was introduced on Dynamite. Yeah, it was before Dynamite.
That's the main thing out of this episode of Dynamite. There was a lot of good stuff on the show, but the thing that is getting everybody talking from this episode of Dynamite is the introduction of a title that is unnecessary.
Here's my true issue with this championship and the introduction. You want to add this title, fine. Don't do it in the middle of a tournament when you are crowning new champions. If you're gonna add this title, do it at the beginning of the year, and then people
don't do it right before you're gonna do a tournament for another tournament right after this tournament. Like it's the wrong timing. It's the wrong title, because I don't think that they really genuinely thought this through in regards to the national title and the fact that they're trying to act like it's following the lineage of NWA and stuff like that.
I'm not criticizing them for that, because no one gives a shit about the NWA. Bless.
No, I know no one gives a shit. But that's why, if no one gives a shit, why are you acting like this is a part of your lineage?
Fair. I mean, fair. Like, no one knows the NWA still exists. Yeah, Louis does. We are trying to get Mike Mondo on the show. I reached out to him. I would like him on this show to discuss this stuff. But most of these people don't know the NWA still exists. And so Tony is trying to act like this title has prestige when it really doesn't. Like, it's a new AEW title. There's no real prestige to this title. It's a new AEW championship. You can say that, oh, it has the NWA prestige and stuff. It doesn't. It does not have that lineage. It's not there. It's just Tony loving that the title was on TBS 30 years ago. It's like, I want the title on TBS now. That's it. That's all it is. AEW Dynamite opened correctly. SP3. As I pointed out.
You got literally everything you wanted from this storyline. You wanted Joe to address Shivani helping out Hangman last week. You got it. I heard you this week. I think you were with Joel and you were saying, why isn't the match on Dynamite for the trio titles? You got it. Like, this was the opening segment where I feel like Tony Khan watched a week worth of In the Weeds and then said, damn, here, Jeremy, here.
I was correct. That's why. This was not a damn here. That's Shawn Michaels toying with me and pairing Thea Hale with Joe Hendry. Tony watched the show and said, he makes a good point. Why wouldn't Samoa Joe be angry at Tony Schiavone over this? He would. Why aren't the trios titles on the line here? They should be, especially if you're not going to crown new champions. They should be on the line here. This was a great opening segment because it wrapped up a bunch of loose ends that I not criticized, but correctly pointed out. And they did a good job of tying things together and having a show-long thread or at least a show bookend of Joe and Hangman, Ops and Hangman's friends to start the show and to end the show. Thought this was very good stuff. And yes, I am proud of AEW that they opened the show with Samoa Joe wanting to kick Tony Schiavone's ass. I still think it should have happened on Collision, but I'm glad it happened here. Nobody watches Collision anyway.
Exactly,
clearly.
exactly. So it needed to happen here. So I'm happy that it happened here. I thought this was a good opening segment as well, and mostly because of the bookend of it being about Joe and Hangman to start the show, Joe and Hangman to close the show. It felt like the first week where Joe and Hangman's rivalry felt like the biggest thing on the show. Despite the good work that they've done so far in this rivalry, it hasn't felt like the most important rivalry in AEW most weeks. But this week, it definitely did. They started the show with follow-up from last week. It set up some stakes for the main event. So it actually, would make one or two fans want to watch the main event because now it's for something. So I like that as well. So yeah, this checked a lot of boxes. And I thought it was first meaningful thing that Eddie Kingston has done since he's returned. And I like the fact that they seem to be developing some type of story for Hook, with the fact of how the last 2 weeks have ended the main event with him tapping out very quickly.
Yeah, so in the main event, Powerhouse Hobbs submitted Hook with a torture rack. I don't know why they call it a backbreaker. Call it by its proper name. We're not going to disrespect Lex Luger out here. It is a torture rack, and I love to see Powerhouse Hobbs using the torture rack. During the match, Hobbs slammed, they was on the entranceway. Hobbs did the powerhouse slam to Hangman off the ramp through the table, and that's going to set up a false count anywhere next week between Hangman and Powerhouse Hobbs. So I thought it was a solid main event. I like what they're doing with the Hook storyline, and hopefully that goes somewhere with him, because we've seen Hook kind of get elevated and then be into nothing. Eddie Kingston looks better and better. Eddie Kingston is always great because he had such a gravity with his mic work, but he's starting to find his legs in the ring after being off for so long and getting off to a slow start. And then the Hangman and Joe stuff, very good, and that'll headline the next pay-per-view.
Only have one issue with this main event. I thought the main event matchup was very good overall. It told a nice story of the Ops taking out Hook first, injuring his back early on, so it only left Hangman and Kingston. Then Hobbs took out Hangman, so that only left Kingston, but Kingston wouldn't quit. He stayed alive until he was able to tag out to Hook, and then he had to watch as Hook tapped out very quickly once again. So I like the story. I thought the story was very well done in the matchup. Yeah, I didn't think the production was all that great in the matchup. But my main issue mainly is this didn't really put over Joe versus Hangman. This set up Hangman versus Hobbs, because Hobbs is the one who takes out Hangman on the ramp, and that's totally fine. You can do that alone, and that sets up the Falls Count Anywhere for next week. I don't then need Hobbs to also get the win for the team. It should have been Joe. Joe is the one who's getting the shot at the world title. So, it would have further along the story that really Hook's Achilles heel, his kryptonite is Joe. Joe will always choke him out. He always taps out to the choke because that's the only thing that he can do when he gets locked in the Coquina clutch. I think that would have continued Hook's story a little bit better, as well as followed up and build up Joe for the Full Gear matchup against Hangman. But I am looking forward to Hangman and Hobbs next week, and I do like the fact that Hobbs looks so strong in the matchup.
They tried to put Hobbs over strong, and they succeeded in doing that, and I got no issue with that. He's going to lose to Hangman. I mean, I don't think Hangman's losing before Full Gear or anything out here. I hope, and we've said this a lot about Hobbs, like they'll make him look good, and then they just won't go full bore with him when they have an opportunity to do so. And hopefully coming out of this, even though he's going to lose next week, it's a strong showing, and they have something for him after Full Gear. Because I don't know if he's going to be on Full Gear. If he is, it might just be, it might be Hobbs and Shibata against Eddie and Hook on the Tailgate Brawl, or that should be a pay-per-view match, given you did a main event with them last night. Powerhouse Hobbs is in probably the main event next week. That should be on pay-per-view.
No,
I don't know if it
not
will
the main
be.
event next week.
You don't think it's
show
be?
Next
Oh
week.
no! Oh yeah, Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts is bookending.
Is
bookending that
You're
show.
right.
That's the middle portion to give us a break in between the two cage matches.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think you're probably right about him not working Full Gear. But my issue mainly with AEW is that this tends to be their thing, where they put someone over one week just for them to lose the next week, or just for them to lose the next show. Like you had just recently, Bandito pinned Okada, first person to pin Okada at Wrestle Dream in the tag team matchup, the tag team title match, and it was just for him to lose on the following show on Dynamite. And then they did it on this show, where Harley Cameron picks up a big win in the tag team tournament matchup against Athena, where she pins the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. But then on Saturday, she's facing Tekla in a match she will most likely lose because the heels are going to have the advantage in War Games. So it feels like we're putting people over just for them to lose, and it's just null and void. Like what the thing that put them over is then basically counteracted by them losing immediately after.
They do 50-50, a lot of people. And this was a huge complaint about WWE back in the day, is they would 50-50 so many people. And I do think AEW has kind of gotten into that habit too much, because AEW, for all their strengths, especially when it comes to in-ring work, one thing that they have always kind of lacked is elevation off of the matches. The criticism for so long was, I'll use Hobbs as an example. Hobbs will beat like 15 people who are on ROH TV or Rampage or Dark all way back in the day, but then he would face a big name and he would lose. That's something they did forever on their TV. They remember when they did rankings and Jay Lethal was like 20-0 because he won a bunch of matches on Dark, but then he faced Orange Cassidy and of course he lost, because who cares about your 20 wins on Dark when you actually face top talent? That's something that they used to do all the time. Now, because they don't have Rampage and Dark and they can't just give people these random wins, they still do it to an extent of who's winning this match, but they are going to win that match to build them for a bigger match that they will lose. And that is something they kind of do a little too often now. And hopefully they can kind of reel that in and actually give people some momentum and build them up a little bit with these things.
Yeah, but that's my only complaint about the Harley
So
pinning Athena is that she's immediately gonna lose because that was the best thing on last night's show.
women's match, yeah, I
The
really
women's tag team
liked.
match.
Yeah, I really like the two men's matches though. I like the singles matches between
Oh,
Darby
the
and
advantage
Garcia.
the advantage
Yeah, the advantage
matches.
matches. Yeah,
The advantage matches were really good as well. And honestly, no. So the women's tag match was the second best thing on the show. I will give that third best. First best thing on the show was FTR and Brodito. And Brody punching through a
that was
door.
good. I did like that.
That was the purest, like, this is sports entertainment. This is the AEW version of sports entertainment. Like, because I know there's people that are like, oh, those sports entertainment, that's the WWE segment. No. This was the sports entertainment that AEW was made on, was FTR being this great heel act, healing up on Grandma Bandito, having Spanish words written on their hand, saying, will you be our Abelia? Abelia.
I loved.
I loved it. I loved every second.
I loved, and people know like I'm not super high on FTR right now. It's all Cope's fault. I will say that because now they're doing good stuff with Brodito out here. I thought the segment last night was great. See, give them good people to work with, and I'll appreciate them a whole lot more. I did love the part where Dax is like, yo, soy Cash. And Cash is like, Cash.
No, I love
yo, soy dinero.
Like Renee, oh, you want to watch The Wire on HBO Max? That's so many funny moments. Oh, that was the best part of the whole night. Best part of the show.
I gotta criticize the abuela here. You gotta lay that in harder, man. That was too weak. That man's talking shit to you and your family. You gotta lay that slap in there. Somebody's got to teach her how to work properly.
That was the most friendly slap.
Yeah, that was like, oh, you're cute kind of slap type of thing. Nah, you gotta lay that thing in there. So Bandito's got to teach her how to potato Dax out there.
just punch it.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
Lay it, Grandpa.
I want to know what episode of The Wire Stokely was watching. That's
Word.
my real question coming out of that segment. Now I did like the segment overall. I did see people like, oh, that was dumb and everything. Like, I thought it did a good job of building a match that I was interested in from an in-ring perspective, but wasn't interested in from, okay, what
the story.
Yeah, what else is here besides two great tag teams? Our FTR won their shots after they lost to Cope and Christian. So what else are we going to do to kind of heat this thing up a little bit? And I thought they did a great job heating up that match and giving it something extra on kind of short notice. So I like the segment overall. I'm back around on FTR. They're no longer working with Cope. I'm back around on them.
I've been saying FTR the best heel act in wrestling right now. They just get it. And they made something from last week, which could have been like just a throwaway when they showed that video package of Grandma Bandito coming to see him versus Okada the week prior. That could have just been a throwaway video that they just put on the show as a nice thing, as, oh, look at Bandito is a man of the people with his family and stuff. Could have just been that, and you probably forget it. But they immediately follow up with this segment this week. Very well done. They got some heat on the matchup coming up at Full Gear, and now you have a reason to root for the baby faces to get their hands on the heels at the same time. So that was a segment, in my opinion. But like I said, in-ring wise, the best thing on the show was the women's tag team title tournament.
As you mentioned, Harley Cameron pinned Athena, so maybe we're getting Harley and Athena at Final Battle. Maybe
you can see that.
I can see that. I mean, I think Harley should just win. I don't think she will, but
no, she won't. But she should. Why not?
Athena's reign, I mean, it's been good. She's been having great matches, but at this point, like, we're going on 3 years with this thing. And the other problem with Athena's reign is that every time she's on AEW TV, she just loses. So, and I feel like she keeps losing on AEW TV, as we were talking about earlier, is because they know they can just keep giving her wins in ROH. Like,
Yeah.
so they're like, we can put her on AEW and she can lose there because she's still the ROH champion. And if we really need to give her momentum, she's had this title for 3 years and she can just beat them on ROH. Like, that doesn't actually help. It doesn't help
Yeah.
her. No. Yeah, we'll see where they go. Maybe it's a full gear match. Maybe it's a final battle match. No. But yeah, that was a very good match. I have no problem with Harley
Great match.
and Willow. I have no problem with Harley and Willow winning because I like both of them. I picked Mercedes and Athena to win the titles. I thought they were gonna just give Mercedes more titles off of this. They did
You
not.
did.
Yeah,
I thought she would at least be in the finals because I was like, you want the final matchup to be a banger. Plus, it would protect Mercedes if she had two matches at Full Gear, like she had to be for the tag team titles and also had to compete for the world title. I think that would have protected her to lose to Chris Statlander in that matchup as well. And I wanted to see Athena in another AEW pay-per-view matchup, but I don't mind them going in that direction because of how great the match was. I thought that all four ladies worked really hard. Willow was really a star in the matchup. She was just the glue of the entire matchup. She knows how to connect with the audience and get them to rally behind her. I thought Harley, that probably was her best performance in a match, probably her best match that she's ever had. Athena was great. Mercedes was awesome, bumping around for everything. I love them working together. That little like moneymaker style double team move that they did early on in the matchup was great.
yeah.
Love the pounds by Willow. Love the involvement of Billy Starks and Chris Statlander, and that continues to build to Statlander and Monet. So I liked everything about this matchup.
I will criticize the interference because now we've done 2 tournament matches with interference,
True.
and I would like a little cleaner out
Well,
there. I hope
to be fair, the interference here was counteracted. So if we have interference again in the third matchup, then I understand the criticism. I can't criticize it here because literally the interference was counteracted. So it was different from last week. Last week, Tekla just interfered in the matchup, helped Sisters of Sin get the win. Billy Stark tried to interfere for Athena and Mercedes, but was counteracted by Chris Statlander. Thus, there was no interference really in the matchup.
they still had run-ins in the match.
Was it? They were taken out. They were taken out, counteracted.
Sure. We'll see what they do on the next match. There shouldn't be any in the next matches because what do we have? Ty J against Megan and Marina. We shouldn't see interference in that match, right?
Yeah,
There shouldn't be anything.
I don't see
there.
the reason why you need interference in that matchup. You don't need interference in that match. You don't need interference in the
No.
timeless love bombs versus Windsor and Riho either.
No, you definitely don't need interference in that match. There's no. I mean, who's going to interfere in that? Marina? She's just going to interfere
Exactly.
to. Yeah, you don't need to do like Marina and Megan for some reason interfering in that because I think that's the only way that would make sense. I don't think it makes much sense, but there's connectivity there, and I guess the same way on the other side with Tony and Mina interfering in the Ty J match, but it doesn't make as much sense. Like the interference made sense for both of them. It makes sense that Tekla would come down and help Sisters of Sin. That's an actual group and all of these women fighting. So it makes sense there. Athena always wants Billy's help. So Billy coming down and Statlander preventing it, it all made sense. Just back to back there. I think maybe they could have spaced out the matches a little bit so it wasn't back to back. But that's my only constructive criticism of this whole thing. The men's advantage matches, Claudio beat Orange Cassidy and Darby beat Daniel Garcia. I thought both these matches were great, and I put them kind of on the level with the women's matches. I see if people thought the women's match because I don't think anybody's putting the Megan Bain and Mina Shirakawa match on this level, but I can understand the tag team match if you thought it was better. No complaints from me there, but I thought these 2 matches were just as good as that, and the overall stories they told. I love Orange Cassidy. I think he's one of the best baby faces in wrestling. I think he's one of the best characters in AEW. Certainly one of the most consistent as far as his booking. Claudio, anytime he can just throw a dude around, always rules. And he was just tossing Orange Cassidy throughout this match. And then Darby and Garcia, the continued story of you got to kill Darby Allin to actually put him away, and then all the Death Riders are cowards once they get put into the Scorpion Deathlock. But I thought both those matches were great.
I love that finish. I thought that the Darby and Garcia matchup was on the level of the women's tag matchup. Claudio and Orange was very well worked. I thought it was a very good matchup. These are two guys that I feel like AEW's booking and wins and losses have damaged the way I look at them. An Orange Cassidy versus Claudio matchup when they first had it in 2023. Oh, I was very excited to see it. And it happened more than once. And both times I was very excited to see it. When that was announced for this show, I was just like, I know it'll be good, but I can't be invested in it like I should be because I feel like the booking has not really benefited either guy. But it was a good matchup. I thought they worked really well with each other. Like you said, Claudio is the ultimate base. So anytime he's in there with a guy he could toss around, who can fly around him, it is always going to be entertaining. And it was here. I love the spot with the Orange getting put down multiple times and then putting his hands in his pocket each time. That was great. Got the crowd involved. So really well done there. Daniel Garcia versus Darby Allin. It was just great. And Bryan Danielson had the best line on commentary. It was like, Darby Allin is the only man who can out Death Rider the Death Riders. And that was the theme of the matchup. It was the fact that Garcia is so new with the Death Riders that every time he tried to do Death Rider tactics, Darby was better at it than him. And in the end, Darby knows the kryptonite of the Death Riders is the Scorpion Deathlock. So Garcia getting him in the Dragon Tamer, he just reversed out of it. Scorpion Deathlock gets the tap out victory. He's beaten 3 members of the Death Riders with the Scorpion Deathlock. He's beaten 4 of 5 Death Riders members in singles competition in the last 2 months. The only member left that he hasn't beat in singles competition is Pac. I did predict after Wrestle Dream, I think that's going to be a Full Gear matchup. I think they're going to do Pac and Darby because they keep doing the interactions with them, but they haven't done the one-on-one matchup yet. So I think that coming out of Blood and Guts, if you want to get Darby on the card, they're probably going to be Darby and Pac at Full Gears because he also got involved in this matchup here, then beat down Darby in the post-match. I like the post-match, how it worked out in the end with Moxley being so focused on Kyle O'Reilly and trying to injure him, and then Roddy jumping over the Death Riders and Kyle O'Reilly to hit the knee on Jon Moxley was a great visual, and it got me excited, a little bit excited for a matchup that I've already seen with Moxley and Roger Shaw. So I'm going to keep the same energy. This is what I'm known for, folks. I'm known for keeping the same energy with AEW and WWE. For WWE, I did not get any bit excited over the first 2 matches for the Last Time Is Now tournament. And for AEW, the Advantage battle for Blood and Guts is a novel and great idea by them. And it actually added stakes to all the matches on last night's show, and it'll add stakes to matches on Collision. Except none of those matches are really that appeasing to me. Like you've literally given me all of these matches in some form. The only matches that really were like, okay, yeah, I'll probably want to see that. Probably want to see that. I was like 1 of 1 from each of the women and the men. It was Megan Bayne versus Queen Aminata, which we didn't get because Aminata was injured, and then Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia. That's why I enjoyed that match more than Claudio and Orange.
As you mentioned, Queen Aminata injured. This was the other pre-show announcement. She suffered an injury last week, teaming with Jamie Hayter against Sisters of Sin, and Mina Shirakawa replaces her in the Advantage match and likely in Blood and Guts. And Tony tried to act like maybe Aminata, like he didn't officially rule her out. He's like, doctors are skeptical that she's going to be there, but she wants to be there. He wouldn't go as far as like fully saying Mina was in the match. I don't think they've updated the graphic.
No, they did.
Or anything. Oh, is Mina in the match?
She's in the match. She's
Oh,
in the match.
okay.
They said that on commentary too
On the
during the
comments. All
matchup.
right, all right. Then
Yeah.
I only caught the I clearly wasn't paying enough attention to commentary. Tony during his pre-show thing, he would not like confirm that Queen Aminata was out of the match, even though it was pretty obvious she was out of the
Yeah.
match. He was talking around it of like, oh no, I don't know, type of thing. But Mina replaced her here and will replace her in Blood and Guts. And Megan Bayne and Mina had a match. It existed. Megan Bayne won. Tony Storm was
And then
great on commentary.
they literally did the same exact brawl that the men did the
Yeah.
segment prior. That was outrageous by AEW. It's like y'all really didn't put any effort into this blood and guts build for the women. The lineups are great. The lineups, I think that next week is gonna be 2 spectacular blood and guts matches. But as far as the build, oh my god, he couldn't have been lazier with the build. This was WWE levels of laziness for the build for the women's blood and guts. The only difference between the 2 brawls post match was Mercedes not wanting to get involved, which immediately made me go, she's either running the blade or she's jumping or she's getting thrown off the cell next week.
She's definitely doing something insane next week. Like, she might get tax. I know they wanted to do that in WWE and they couldn't, so they might do that here. I don't know about if she's gonna get thrown off the cell. She bleeding, definitely a realm of possibility there. Yeah, doing the back-to-back brawl was like,
yeah. Henry is white. They should have waited for the brawl for Collision.
Yeah. They should have spaced that out better. But
I do like that we got a lot of focus on the women last night. So back-to-back weeks where we had a lot of focus on women's wrestling. Well, I think the last 3 weeks, because the one with the puppet celebration, Puppet Monet celebration, that was heavy on women being used. That last week was good with women being used, and then this week was heavy on the women being used. So good job on that board.
Yeah. Anything else from Dynamite that you need to touch on?
Mark Briscoe potentially becoming a member of the Don Callis family, as that match has been added. Match 6 between Briscoe and Fletcher will be no disqualification if Briscoe wins. Yes, rematch 5, match 6.
I'm saying this Full Gear card. This is like the 6th rematch.
Yeah, all of them. This is a very heavy heavy show we're getting at Full Gear. But yes, Kyle and Mark, that should be good. I like that added stipulation to it. So despite my dismay of how many rematches we're getting at Full Gear and the fact that a lot of rivalries that shouldn't continue after Full Gear, after Wrestle Dream are continuing, this one makes a lot of sense. I think this promo did a better job of making it sense of why there is necessary for another matchup than their in-ring promo from 2 weeks ago. This one, Briscoe actually mentioned, you low blowed me. That's not the right way. That's like kissing your brother. Now you don't want that victory. We need another matchup to determine. I want to make it no DQ. So he got Fletcher's attention and got his intrigue. And then I liked Callis being like, you got to join the family. If you don't win, this would be the largest wrestling family in the world, combining Callis's family with the Briscoe family.
Oh yeah, that would actually. It kind of feels like they're telegraphing a Briscoe win by doing this stipulation here. I think it'd be much better television if Briscoe loses and has to join the Don Callis family, and we get like skits and videos of the Don Callis family going to the Briscoe farm and all of the kids and everything. Imagine how good that would be with Don Callis interacting with these 12 kids out here.
I want this, please. Please give it to us.
So I'm rooting for, as much as I love Mark Briscoe, I'm rooting for Kyle Fletcher. I want Mark Briscoe and Don Callis family vignettes at the Briscoe family farm.
That would own so much. I love it. I want this now. I want this a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think that's all from Dynamite last night. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, it is.
Let's I'm gonna hit on this Fightful Select report
Yeah,
about Ridge Holland because I saw people brought it up in the
please.
chat, and people also mentioned that Penelope Ford was on television with an injury while Ridge Holland is not on television. And not only is Ridge Holland not on television, but Fightful Select confirmed with WWE sources that Ridge's WWE deal has been terminated early. He said it was going to expire on November 14th and was not going to be renewed. The word within WWE was that they considered some of his recent posts a breach, and the call was made to release him from his deal early. The deal was originally set to go until mid-November, of which he'd be paid. It was strongly suggested that he won't be paid for the remaining of the period. Ridge sustained an injury on September 27th that sidelined him until well into 2026 and unable to wrestle. He was released with 7 months of recovery time remaining, something that almost never a practice in WWE until the last year or so. Ridge has said that he was not paid additionally for his TNA appearance. It was noted that WWE has to continue providing his rehab, but they would almost certainly open themselves up to legal action if they didn't. So, Ridge Holland, contract terminated early, on top of just not being renewed while he was injured. What just a god-awful, terrible practice from this company. Like, pay the man through his injury. He got injured on your booking. You're paying for his rehab, great. But he got injured on your booking, and you are not going to renew his contract so you don't have to pay him while he is injured. Complete bullshit. And then terminating his contract early for all of this because of, I guess, disparaging comments. He's upset.
Because you fucked him over.
Yeah.
He says you fucked him over, and you say that's disparaging. What?
So this is very not funny. Funny is not the right word. Very telling. I don't know if people read the excerpt from Natalia's book about Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson, but she wrote, and I'm gonna do my best to summarize this. When TJ got hurt, what he wanted was an apology. He wanted an apology from Vince. He wanted an apology from the company, and instead they acted like nothing happened, and they just moved forward with things. They never reached out to him. They paid for stuff, but they never reached out to him to see what was going on or give him any type of an apology or just check in on him. And then Natalya was going to go to WrestleMania 32 and she was going to bring TJ with him. Like, TJ wrote Vince a letter. The lawyer, they talked with lawyers about things and about maybe what they could do with everything. And lawyers like, like, WWE's not going to admit they did anything wrong, so this probably isn't going to get very far. But TJ wrote Vince a letter explaining his sides of things and never heard anything from Vince. And then Natalya was going to go to WrestleMania 32, asked TJ if he wanted to go. He was actually excited to go. And then she gets a call of, hey, if you guys are going to come, you can't talk bad about WWE, and you can't even talk about TJ's injury, like, in the locker room or anything. And if you do, we will terminate you from your contract. Natalya didn't do anything wrong in this situation. She was married to a man who got hurt, and she could not go in the locker room and discuss his injury or certainly talk bad about the company, or they would fire her. This is a very similar situation of they're already going to not renew Ridge Holland's contract. His contract's up next week. They weren't going to renew it. And he made comments on social media, rightful comments, mind you, of, hey, I'm injured. I got injured on y'all's dime, on y'all's booking, and you are now going to not renew my contract. And because I pointed that out, and I'm upset about that, you are releasing me early from my contract. You are terminating my contract early. That's absolute bullshit on this. Like, I don't get it. I mean, I get it because WWE is in very many ways a scummy business practice, and so I understand it there, but I certainly don't agree with it.
No one should agree with it. What they're doing to Rich Holland is disgusting. It's horrible business practice. It's not professional in the least bit. He legitimately got fucked over working a matchup under their booking in another company, and they're trying to act like it's basically out of their hands, and people want to give them credit for paying for his surgery when they legally have to. Like, it's not like they're doing it out the kindness of their heart. So stop saying that, because that is the perception you are putting out there by saying that in defense of WWE. It's not a defense, it's legally what they had to do. So stop giving them credit for it. It's just stupid. They don't deserve any credit for their treatment of Rich Holland, and I hoping the best for Luke Menzies. I think that's his real name. I'm hoping the best for him, because he's in a horrible situation right now.
Yeah, and because he can't wrestle, it's gonna be tough to get work. I know GCW is bringing him in for a convention, and hopefully he gets something out of that.
And then this whole situation is going to hurt his prospects in other places. Like, TNA would have probably brought him back due to him getting hurt under their watch. They probably would have brought him in for at least a look or some appearances. But now that he sets up to WWE, TNA, Carlos Silva's like, I don't want to upset Master. I don't want to upset Master. Master don't go and let us be out in the field. We get to play some basketball.
There's already not a ton of options out there. Like, he can potentially work indies, but again, he can't work for another 6-7 months anyway. So it's not like he can get money during that time. It's a bullshit, scummy practice. Like, it's terrible. And look, if you're defending WWE on this, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a company that just announced once again that they had $400 million in revenue. All right?
Record profit.
Yeah. More record profits on here. I think they can afford paying Ridge Holland $200,000 a month or whatever it is while he recovers. I think they will be fine on that.
And they extend people's contract all the time for injury time. They could have done it here. And if you are one of those people who are upset with Ridge Holland because of what happened to Big E, accidents happen in pro wrestling. Get over it. Big E has told you to get over it. He forgives Ridge Holland. So should you.
Yeah. It's again, shitty situation. I hope Ridge is okay. Just I hope he's able to figure things out and get some type of support from somebody out there. All right. What TikTok game do we have, SP3?
All right, I got a new one that I introduced on True Hill Heat over the weekend, which is called Best and Worst, where I will give you a wrestler's name, and you have to tell me what you consider their best moment of their career and the worst moment of their career.
Oh, you don't want me to do this.
I'm gonna play along with you, so okay. you can say whatever you want to say, and I'll give the real answer. All right.
Wow.
So we're gonna start things off with someone interesting to start off with.
That means the rest of these names are not interesting.
No, all of them are.
I'm just kidding.
Freaking Rollins.
Oh,
what is his best moment? What is his worst moment?
The best moment is when he's sitting in the corner, scared of the Fiend as he comes up. He's like, that's the best moment from Seth. The worst is when he hurt his leg doing the power bomb on Kane, and his leg buckled, and so he had to miss time off of that. I think that's his worst moment. It's not his fault; it's an injury, but I will probably lean heavily on injuries being a worst moment for people, and best moment will be the thing I find the funniest in their career, and I find Seth cowering in the corner as the Universal Champion as The Fiend comes out to be the funniest thing ever in Seth's career.
So, best moment, it's obviously the heist of the century. It's WrestleMania 31, the heist of the century. Worst moment, I think you're on to something with your best moment in regards to the worst moment, because I see everybody is agreeing with it in the chat. Yeah, it's probably, if it's a single moment, it's probably Hell in a Cell against The Fiend. But I would argue it's the entire year of 2019. The entire year of 2019, that should have been his year. Everything was set up. Yeah. Everything was set up for it to be Seth Rollins, Wrestler of the Year in 2019. Roman's away. He has leukemia. We need someone to fill in. You're the only top guy that we can have fill in and can beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We're giving you the Royal Rumble. We're giving you the WrestleMania title win against Brock Lesnar when we never beat Brock Lesnar. We're going to take the title off you, and then you beat Brock Lesnar again at SummerSlam. And it was just between his Twitter war with Will Ospreay, calling out funny. CM Punk on WWE back. Yeah, it was funny. It was an all-timer tweet is the check my bank account shit. Oh my god, that's an all-timer. There's the calling out CM Punk, and CM Punk
that paid off years later.
Yeah, but CM Punk played you like you wasn't even anything. But the biggest one is not just the Fiend matchup, the Hell in a Cell matchup. It's people tend to forget. It's his response to it. His response to the criticism. When he went on social media and he went all crazy. And then someone was like, oh, it's a ref stoppage. The referee, that's what you're supposed to do. The referee did the right thing. And then someone said, here's another Hell in a Cell matchup that didn't have a ref stoppage. And they showed them the clip of Undertaker and Mankind. And he said, well, I bet Mick Foley would have wished the referee would have stopped the matchup. Maybe it would have added some years to his career. Yo, oh my, this was the worst wrestler crash out to criticism I think we've ever seen.
Yeah. So it was a rough year. It was a rough year.
And then the cherry on top is, like I said, everything was set up for him to be the guy, and then his wife was the guy.
Well, so
that's
okay.
The cherry on top is when you're given everything to be the top guy, and then your wife takes it. I mean, so you could have a sense of pride in that, or another feeling.
Again, it was a rough year, like on screen type of thing. Off screen, he began dating Becky in 2019, so like, kind of had a good year there, you know.
I guess
that worked out well for him.
I guess, because the top guy had to be in this house. I guess. All right, but that's best and worst for Seth Rollins. All right. Speaking of the person we brought up during that one, let's go with Will Ospreay. What is his best moment? What is his worst moment?
Will Ospreay doesn't have a ton of as funny moments as Seth. You pick first. You go first.
All right. His best moment, I would say, is the Kenny Omega series from 2023. Because I feel like that was when he really made this transition from, okay, there's a guy in the conversation for best wrestler in the world to, okay, he is the best wrestler of the world. This guy who was the best wrestler in the world just gave him the torch. That's it. Worst moment, I would probably say is speaking out. I think that did a lot of damage at the time. Or if it's not speaking out, it's him leaving New Japan when he was IWGP World Heavyweight Champion due to that Gaijin exodus in 2021. So one of those, 2020 or 2021 for his worst moment.
Okay, yeah, I can't argue with speaking out. I will go with that as well for worst moment. Best moment is getting trolled into a match by Vader and then losing that match.
honestly, right, the best moment. I actually will change my answer. It's the Ricochet match. Like if you had to point to one moment that changed his career, it's the Ricochet match. It's the first Ricochet match from 2016. But that was a great answer as well. It's trolling Vader to a match at Legacy.
He didn't even troll Vader. Vader trolled him into a match.
Oh,
that's the most hilarious part about all of this. Vader was the one who like went after him at first, and Ospreay is like, "Oh, all right, thanks." And then like that turned into a match, and Vader got to beat him in the match. That rules.
Kind of does.
Vader wanted 3 matches, by the way. That's one of my favorite stories, is that Vader wanted a 3-match clause on that, and Ospreay's like, no. Like, wait, we're gonna do 3 matches? We're gonna do a best of 3 series? So I guess Ospreay would have won the second and Vader would have won the third. And Ospreay's like, I'm not taking 2 losses to this guy. I'll take the 1 and then get out of here.
Sounds good. Davion says the Ospreay Ricochet match pissed off a lot of people off. But that's when everybody found out about Will Ospreay. Like that is like, you can say what put Will Ospreay on the map. It's the Ricochet match. So that's why I say that's probably his best moment. All right. Then we got his you can say his contemporary or his mentor, AJ Styles.
I really like AJ compared to the other 2, like who I fine wrestlers, but I don't have like fine wrestlers. But AJ is, as I've said many times, AJ is a guy that like actually got me back into wrestling with when the WWE was in a lull, and then I discovered AJ through TNA and ROH and everything. So I actually really like AJ. Worst moments gotta be his conspiracy theory stuff, because none of that's good. Can't really respect that too much with his thoughts there. Best moment is saying too much on Twitch and getting Twitch banned from everybody in WWE, because AJ would just go on there and he had no filter, and so WWE had to be like, y'all can't stream on Twitch anymore because AJ is just out here giving out contract news, just talking about injuries and giving away all the storylines and scoops. So y'all can't be on Twitch anymore. That's a fantastic moment for AJ. Or him breaking controllers on Up, Up, Down, Down, which was also good stuff.
That was pretty good too. Best moment for AJ, I would say beat John Cena at SummerSlam 2016. Worst moment, I will say the Claire Lynch storyline.
Yeah. That was rough stuff.
Claire Lynch storyline is one of the all-timer worst storylines ever. All right, this one is an interesting one, but you surely will have plenty of funny moments for you to choose from.
Oh, nice.
Tetsuya Naito.
Oh, best moment is him always trolling the Japanese reporters into paying for his food. That's the most amazing thing about Naito, is he invites them out to do an interview, and they go to a restaurant, and he just like leaves, and so they gotta pay for everything.
Doesn't answer all their questions either.
Yeah, gives them the most bullshit answer on things as well. Just being a giant troll is Naito's best moment. Worst moment is just when he became washed and he just couldn't do the why can't I think of his finisher's name?
I'll tell you.
Destino. Yeah, when he just like can't do the Destino.
I'll tell you
anymore.
though, it's before that. Honestly, his best or worst moment happened within 4 months of each other. Best moment, the Wrestle Kingdom win in 2020 against Okada, becoming the unified IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Worst moment, 2 months later, the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's like back to back. You get your biggest moment ever, and then Japanese wrestling never is the same again.
Yeah, but that led to one of his best moments, the pandemic. So, I mean, we at least got something.
What was one of his best moments in the pandemic? What, Evil turning on him? Get out of here! No, stop it! Stop it! I'm not gonna be trolled by you, sir. All right, final person that I have here for best and worst, Kenny Omega.
Him trolling Dijak on social media.
Ciao.
Any Kenny trolling on social media. He's a kind of an underrated troll. I gotta say, he's kind of an underrated troll. His worst moment was teaming with Chris Jericho.
Golden Jets. The Golden fucking Jets. Yeah, definitely the worst is the diverticulitis and teaming with Jericho. They happen at the same time, so we'll say it's one and the same. And then best moment is beating Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Dominion 2018.
All right, fine.
It's like fine. All right. But I think it is a time for something. Let me check.
Yeah. What time is it, SP3?
It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite, where we watch C-level WWE shows in the C-suite. So WWE Evolve. It's yesterday's show on Tubi. It was headlined by Chantel Monroe beating Wendy Chu with her finishing move, which is like a twisting code breaker that she calls the perfect ending after dropping Wendy Chu on her neck on the middle rope. Post-match, Chantel disrespected Chu, telling her to get out of her ring and saying that she doesn't belong here. So it seems like that rivalry is gonna keep going. I like Chantel Monroe. She has charisma. She plays the heel role very well. The Wendy Chu losing streak, I'm not too sure about it, because I'm like, Nikita Lyons didn't gain anything from beating her because she's a loser now. This sucks. I want to see more of Yam Yam Bigelow. Anyway, you got the show long narrative.
Yam Bigelow.
Wait, did I say something? Oh, okay. The show long narrative was about setting up Jackson Drake versus Keanu Carver for the WWE Evolve Men's Championship next week. Drake tried to get out of the matchup, but Stevie turned him down once. Then he came to Stevie once again, brought up Keanu getting involved in the Secession title match against Bryce Donovan 3 weeks ago. But Stevie said that the match was still on. Turner told Jackson that he had a choice. He can have the match with Keanu, or he can give up the title. Later, to end the show, Drake decides that he wants the matchup, so it is official for next week's main event. Carver, Drake, WWE Evolve Men's Championship. He had the bad man from Alabama, Bama, Brooks Jensen, defeated Mike Cunningham with a spinning heel kick to the back of the head in midair. It looked like Cunningham was going to go for a Cody cutter. He is, of course, a graduate of the Nightmare Factory, but Jensen was ready for it, hit him with the spinning heel kick in the back of the head. Good showing for Cunningham, for a rookie. They emphasized on commentary a lot that he only started wrestling less than a year ago, so he looked good in there. If you didn't tell me that, I wouldn't have known that he was just a rookie, because he looked solid in there. The opening matchup was Riggins and Presley, once again picking up yet another win against Adrenaline Drip in a solid opener. It seems like the new duo of Riggins and Presley have the number of Cappuccino Jones and Jack Cartwheel right now. They got to regroup, or they'll probably be fired like the rest of WWE idea. And I don't want to see that, because I really like Cappuccino Jones and Jack Cartwheel. So hopefully they can turn things around, pick up a victory, because I know pretty soon, sooner or later, they're going to introduce WWE Evolve Tag Team Champions, because that's all these promotions need, is another title. That was the C-suite. That was the C suite. The
Wait, wait,
C
wait,
suite.
wait, wait.
What? That?
I watched the PJ Vasa match.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Good. What did you
I'm
think
all
about
in.
PJ Vasa's debut with
I'm
the
all in.
finisher? The finisher called the issue. Come get
Yeah,
your issue.
I'm all in on PJ Vasa. No selling the sleeper. I forgot who she faced. Just tossing
Hayes
her around.
Jameson, the wild
Oh,
child, Hayes Jameson,
okay.
who is
Sure.
not no longer employed by WWE.
Oh, well, I'm all in on PJ Vasa though. I like her. Yeah.
Her theme music is hard, yo. I knew that from LFG, but she still got the same theme music. It goes hard. It goes hard in the paint. P nasty. PJ Vasa.
Yeah, I'm
Next
all in.
Evolve Women's Champion.
I'd be fine with that. I mean, because Kendall Gray and Callie Armstrong need to be at least on NXT. We need to start moving.
Callie's coming back. She's returning next week on the show for some reason. I was like, she needs to get called up.
Well, they don't do that in WWE.
No. They have 5-year seniors in WWE. That's what they do there.
Yeah. All right, that was the C-suite. Anything else we need to get to, SP3?
I think that's pretty much it. We talked about New Japan on Tuesday. I don't think we ever talked about Mayu Iwatani versus Io Sky, but we missed the opportunity to. So sorry, guys. But yeah, no, we covered pretty much everything. I hope that you will finish season 2 of Atlanta so we can talk about that on Tuesday next week.
Oh, I'll definitely be done by Tuesday because I don't think there's any like major wrestling this week. I'll get a couple episodes in tonight because there's no late night basketball. At least my team is not playing late night. Yeah. So yeah, I'll get a couple episodes in tonight. I'll definitely be done by season 2 by Tuesday. So you don't have to worry about that at all. All right, SP3, what did we accomplish today?
We accomplished a lot today. We talked about my Los Angeles Lakers being 7-2, ladies and gentlemen, the hottest team in the NBA. We talked about the Oklahoma City Thunder getting their first loss to my Portland Jailblazers. No, we talked about NBA to start. We talked about AEW Dynamite and why there is valid criticism to be had about the AEW National Championship being introduced, but otherwise that was the only negative on an otherwise very positive, good episode of AEW Dynamite, with the women's tag team tournament heating up with a banger of a matchup with the Babes of Wrath moving on. We talked about Blood and Guts build with the Advantage battle that happened on the show, and of course the best segment on the show, FTR trolling Grandma Bandito. So that was the best stuff on the show for Dynamite. We also got to play one of our TikTok games, a new game, Best and Worst, so check that out, where we talked about the best and worst moments of particular wrestlers, and then we finished things off with our favorite time of the week, the C-Suite, where we talked about C-Level WWE show Evolve on Tubi. So if you are on Tubi, you are also a C-Level show. Yes, I'm talking to you, Real American Freestyle and TNA Impact.
The biggest thing we accomplished today, everybody, is more belts. Everybody gets a belt.
Everyone gets a belt.
You get a belt, you get a title, you get a cummerbund. Everyone gets a belt. That is what we accomplished today on the show. SP3, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live in about 45 minutes with Jimmy Macaram over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel for AE Ramble, where we will further break down and talk about AEW Dynamite. So if you thought I did not like the fact that they added a national title, I am sure Jimmy Macaram, who messaged me at 2 a.m. last night, I hate this place, probably did not like that ad either. So check us out as we talk about Dynamite.
Oh. Xeno Hour, your belt will be in the form of a Brian Alvarez cameo NFT. We will send that to you in belt form somehow. Oh, yeah, Jimmy. They gave something, Jimmy, to be mad about. A lot of times they just do their show and Jimmy's mad about it. 'Cause
Exactly.
that's how he operates. They gave him something to be mad about. You can't do that. You can't do that. Myself and Joel will be back tomorrow talking all the news from TNA because they announced some stuff. I'm sure Joel will be happy about that. That TNA is actually announcing stuff. They're building on the Kalani stuff. The only thing that means anything in TNA because it's
God, I didn't get to talk about that. That promo was awful. Oh my God. That was some of the worst delivery. She sounded like a call center employee who was overworked. That is the delivery of her promo. That promo was awful. Oh my God.
The delivery wasn't good. It wasn't. We talked about that. Yeah. It wasn't good delivery. I thought the material was fine. She's not comfortable doing these promos.
The material was fine. The delivery was just all-timer bad.
She'll get there. She'll get there. It's okay.
I want the best for Kalani. I like Kalani. She's great in the ring.
She'll get there. I have no worries about her. Joel and I will be back tomorrow, everybody. Until then, we will see y'all later on.